Hello, everyone. I am Celeste Chamberlain, and I'd like to tell you the story about how God answered my prayers. So, in order to give some context around this story, got to go back a couple of years to when I lost my best friend. And this was like best friend. We've been best friends since middle school. Her and I talk every single day. We know each other like the back of our hands, like my right arm best friend. And so when I lost my best friend, it was really difficult. It was tragic. Like, I think losing her was probably more difficult than going through my divorce. Like, it was just more heartbreaking than anything I've been through. And I kept asking God, like, I need my best friend. I need somebody to talk to. Like, I need that person in my life that I can just go to. I need that. And nothing happened for a while. And then, life went on. And I'm raising my two kids. My youngest has autism. And I saw a commercial for 23andMe. Now, 23andMe, if you've never heard of it, is a DNA company. You spit into this vial and they'll send you back your genetic report. They'll send you back your ancestry, how your ancestry is broken down. And what I really wanted to see was my health report, because my maternal grandmother passed away from breast cancer. And unfortunately, I never got the chance to know her, but I wanted to see if I had the breast cancer gene. That was really important to me because, like I said, I'm a special needs parent, and any other special needs parents out there, one of the things that we're always thinking of is long-term care for our kids. Like, what's going to happen to our kids whenever we pass away? And I wanted to do everything that I possibly could to keep myself healthy. And I think that for me, that started with knowledge of what my DNA says about me, what things I should be watching out for. So I did the kit, and my oldest son, who's not on the spectrum, he wanted to do it as well. And so I got him one, and we both did it, and we sent it in. A few weeks later, we got back our health report. I'm happy to say that there was no gene variants that make me any more susceptible to breast cancer than anybody else, so that was good. And they told us a lot of really cool information, and I was grateful for it. I was glad with the process, with the company, and the information that we got out of it. And I was done. And my son said, "Mom, can I just open up the relatives section?" I was like, "No, I really don't want you to be connected. Like, I know who my people are. I know who your dad's people are. Like, we know our people, and there's nothing out there that you need to just open yourself up. Like, I just don't want people pinging him that I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I'm just like, just leave it alone." And so he let it go for a couple of days, and then he came back to me again. "Mom, I just want to see what it says. Just, can I open it, please, 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 please?" So I was like, fine, okay. Click the button, let it fill out your relative tree, fine. So he did that, and I looked on it, and it said that I was his closest connection, and under that was his aunt, Jessica Cook. And I was like, who? And I thought, man, your dad must have like a sister he doesn't know about, because this is crazy. It has to be on your dad's side. Like, I know who my sisters are. I have two sisters, and I've always had two sisters. So, oh my gosh, I got some juicy gossip to tell your dad, because something going on. So before I called his dad, I said, let me just open up my relatives and see what my little family tree comes out to be. So I clicked the button, and do. Your closest connection is your son, and your second closest connection is your half-sister, Jessica Cook. Who? just like right now, I was completely flabbergasted. Like I was speechless. Who? So the first person I called was my sister Kim. And I called Kim and I was like, there's this person that keeps coming up on 23andMe. It's DNA, so it's can't really be wrong. I mean, I guess maybe it can, like 1.00000% maybe, but it's science, so I don't think it's wrong. And I don't know who this person is. What do you think? And Kim was like, I've never heard of this person. It's got to be somebody from Dad, right? Because women, like, we'd know if we had kids or not. So it's got to be Dad. And I was like, oh my gosh, does he know? Like, he's never said anything. And our dad is the most hunky-dory guy. Like, you know Ned Flanders from The Simpsons? That's kind of, yeah, that's a good analogy of who my dad is. Like, he's just not a Rolling Stone like that I would think that he just had some kid out there. So I was like, I don't think that it's Dad. Like, that's crazy. And so I called my other sister, Beth. I was like, Beth, this lady, Jessica Cook, just came on my 23andMe and it says she's my sister. What the heck? Now, there was no picture. Jessica didn't have a picture on her 23andMe profile. So Beth was like, send me a screenshot. So I sent her the screenshot of my family tree and what 23andMe said I was connected to. And she was like, let's Google her. And I was like, yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Let's Google her. Yes, makes sense. So we start Googling, and Jessica Cook is not like, you know, a terribly unique name. So a whole bunch of folks came up. And so we were scrolling down and dismissing some people. We were like, no, that can't be. No. And then we came across this photo. And y'all, when I tell you, this photo looked just like my older sister Beth, we were like, oh, that's her. That has to be her. That's crazy. It looks just like you. That's insane. And so Beth was like, all right, Dad is, he was on travel and he was traveling with my mom, driving back from North Carolina. He's on the road. Let's give him some time before we lay this on him and let him get home and get settled so we can talk to him. I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's give it some time. So I hung up the phone with Beth. And then I started messaging Jessica, because who's going to give that time? Not me. Patience is not one of my DNA virtues. So I'm typing to Jessica and I'm like, hey, this says you're my half-sister. I'm guessing it's from my dad. This is my phone number. Call me maybe. And I sent it. And then Beth called me back because we had a lot to process and just talk about. And as we were talking, Jessica wrote back. And she said, hey, yeah, I was born in Alaska. I never knew who my biological dad was. This was about 50 years ago, and I would love to get in contact with you. And I read this to Beth, who was born in Alaska around the same time, and I was like, this is legit. She's Dad's. This is crazy. So, again, patience not being my strong suit, I called my dad. He didn't answer the phone, so I sent him a text message. And I said, I found out you have a daughter on 23andMe, and you have some explaining to do. Not realizing that his text messages get read out loud in his car with my mom next to him. So, yeah, that happened. And I guess they didn't really pay it any attention because they weren't prepared to even hear that. I think they just ignored it. And so I called my dad again when he got closer into Virginia, and I told him everything that had been going on. I was like, told him the whole spiel. And he said, I'm going to call you back. Hung up the phone. And then didn't answer my phone calls. Now, I'm the baby of the family. You don't not answer my phone calls. So that was my first clue. Finally, after he did some processing, he said, okay, this might be legit. And I'm not even sure how to go about next steps. I don't know what to do. I'm still processing. So my whole family was processing, and it only took us maybe a couple of days. For me, I was ready to be like, let's go to Alaska and see her. I want to meet her. Like, I was excited. Now, I do get that there was obviously some dates that didn't quite add up the way they should be adding up. I get that. But I was excited. My sister Beth was excited. And my dad was slowly getting excited. My mom was excited. Everybody was excited because we were like, we're a close family. And if we have a sister out there, like, we want her. We want to know her. I'm upset that I missed out on my entire life of knowing her. So the next day, Jessica calls, or I think we called Jessica. Beth and I did a 3-way call with her, and we squealed and we talked and we told each other about our kids and our lives and everything. And then I think maybe a day or two later, everything's such a blur because that whole moment was so crazy. But I think a day or two later, my dad talked to her, and that next week, we all went out to Seattle. We met in Seattle. And I remember when she came into the... I'm gonna cry. I remember when she came into the hotel and into the lobby. And I was like, wow. Like, God works. I just felt so close to her, and that loss that I had been feeling of the best friend loss and everything, it wasn't the same, but it filled me up. Like, her presence and just our relationship, her personality, just everything about her was like, you're my sister and you've always been my sister. Like, we haven't even known about each other for years. I've just turned 40 and I'm like, we haven't known each other, but it's like time didn't skip a beat. And we've talked every day since. So that is my story about how I lost a best friend, but I gained a sister. So I'm good to go. And Jessica, I am very, very proud of you for running for Lieutenant Governor of Alaska. You're going to be amazing. Like, you are so incredibly thoughtful about family, about people and their lives and their kids and their jobs. Like, things that matter to day-to-day people matter to you. And I hope that everyone can see that and feel that and get to know that in a leader, because let's face it, we don't have many leaders that are very in touch with average issues. and you just have the compassion and the patience and the wit to deal with all of this with grace and laughter. So I hope that, I hope just you get everything that you've ever wanted. And yeah, that's my story.